original? Yeah. I love that. Yeah, nice. Very nice. So we had a graduation party for my youngest daughter last night. Thus, my voice is a little reflecting a later night last night. And as a result of that, 2 people unexpectedly decided that they would be my guest here this morning. So in the audience, I have with me 2 people who know me longer than most people, my sister and my dearest high school friend, Todd, my sister Susie, and my friend Todd. Todd Robinson, who is a acclaimed poet. For anybody who's interested in poetry, you can check out his work and talk to him afterwards. I bring up their presence because I am reminded when Jesus returned to Nazareth and basically said, you can't be an expert in your hometown. So nobody even understands the worlds that are colliding in this very moment. I've got worlds colliding like you cannot believe. Because having my sister be here, somebody who knows me better than most people, she knows all parts of me, like all parts of me. My dear friend knows all parts of me. So when they told me last night that they were going to come, I have to be honest, I had this immediate This almost like my mind went into thinking about, okay, is this a joke? Are they trying to what's going on? Are they planning something? Are they going to do something? And it took me a minute to settle down and, okay, nobody's against me. We're not 8 and 6 anymore, or worse, 12 and 14. 8 and 6 still was okay. 12 and 14, maybe not so much. And I got to thinking about how when we allow and we surrender in the moment to what is, it all works out. Does it not? But doesn't that require us to let go and not have to control? And doesn't it require us to give up a need to know what's going to happen before it happens? And to take a step back and say, okay, whatever is going to be, and it's going to be fine. And so I'm grateful to have this opportunity to combine these worlds, because as worlds are colliding, stuff is collapsing, giving rise to something new. I don't know what it is, but it'll be interesting to see it all play out, and when it plays out, when and if it ever plays out. And I might know it, and I might not know it. But it was an opening for me to even frame what I wanted to share today about this idea of being a spiritual heavy weightlifter. And just to kick us off from our discussion in the Course in Miracles this morning, and for those of you who do not know, we've been in the 9:15 service, we've been studying and using the Course in Miracles workbook for about 6 months now. And so that's at the forefront of my mind. And one of the things that was shared this morning is part of the lesson at the very end. So Kevin, thank you for catching this. If you achieve the faintest glimmering of what love means today, You have advanced in distance without measure and in time beyond the count of years to your release. Let us together then be glad to give some time to God today and understand that there is no better use for time than this. So I suppose that's what my hope is, that I might spark a faint glimmering of what love is by something that, I'm not even going to say something that I say today, because nothing that I say today is from me. It comes from my mouth, my voice. I haven't scripted any of this. I'm just being used as a vehicle. So hopefully something I say will spark something in someone. And maybe all of this is just to spark something in me. Maybe that's why I'm standing here. Maybe none of you are real. Maybe I'm just talking to myself in a void so that I might know a faint glimmering of what love is. And so part of that journey is understanding this. I titled this talk, Am I Willing to Be a Spiritual Heavy Weightlifter? And one thing that the Course of Miracles has been introducing to me is this idea of wholeness, of absoluteness, that this idea of love and God is not two halves being united. It's not two contrasts being united into whole. It's absolute. It is love. Absolute love. Absolute good. Something that can't know anything else because it's absolute. It can't know anything outside of love because it is only love. It's absolute. It's truth. It's the only truth. It's the only truth. It is the only truth. So then, if it is the only truth, why do I spend so much time in different places that have nothing to do with the absolute truth of love? I'll give you some examples. Just this week, because as I was thinking about this idea of what do I really want to convey? What does this mean? Am I willing to be a spiritual heavy weightlifter? Well, first of all, it means, am I willing to do the work? Am I willing to do the work? Am I willing to take responsibility that no one is responsible for how I feel, what I think, or what I do? No one is responsible for my happiness, my well-being. Now, it's nice when people do nice things for me, but nobody's responsible for my happiness. So I have to do the work, which means, and I love the four-step process: wake up, grow up, clean up, and show up. I find the waking up process to be sort of the easiest one, the one that feels the best, because I get a glimmer of inspiration or something. I'm like, yes, that feels good. And I can show up. I mean, you want me to show up? You give me something to do, I can do that. That's pretty easy too, but that, clean up and grow up, the middle, And that's the kind of stuff too that also sometimes I think there's this big reservoir of stuff, which there is, and if I do one cleanup, if I do a spring, how many of you have ever done in your entire, for anybody who has a dwelling that they live in, how many of you have ever done spring cleanup? It's every year, right? Multiple times a year. Spring cleanup happens usually summer, winter, spring, and fall. More often than that. it's never a one and done thing, the cleanup and the grow up. So in preparing for my daughter's graduation party this week, I had a very set way this was gonna unfold. I had a very set schedule, and just to be clear, we just arrived back from our summer vacation from Germany on Monday. I had a full day of clients Tuesday, Wednesday, people were arriving Thursday, Saturday was the party. And I can't remember what happened, but there were friends of my daughter's flying in from Denver. Oh, it was the weather. That's what happened. The weather. The weather pushed back our schedule. And instead of them going out on the boat that was going to clear up my entire day to do everything that I was going to do, instead of that, I was told that these friends that I've never met before were now going to come to my house. That wasn't perfect, nor was I. Because Friday was the day where I was not supposed to have to put on makeup. Friday was the day that I was not supposed to have to do my hair. Friday was the day that I was not supposed to have to see anybody, and that changed. And I was irate. And I was irate at my daughter for, how can she not see how busy I am? Does she not know everything that I have to do? Does she not see everything that I'm doing for her party? Is she not grateful? How could she be doing this to me? And I was mad at my daughter. I have an opportunity to celebrate my daughter's graduation, and I am driving around mad at my daughter because now I have to meet friends of hers. I have to talk to people when I didn't think I was going to have to talk to anybody. Clean up, grow up. Am I willing to be a spiritual heavyweight lifter? And in that moment, if you think about lifting a heavy weight and how much force and how much energy it takes to actually lift a heavy weight. But what we're required to do in that instant is the exact opposite. Let it go. So this idea of absolute goodness, absolute love, absolute truth, one thing, actually requires, it still exists whether I acknowledge it or not. But in my earthly experience, if I want to reap the benefit of it, I have to interact with it. And the moment I let that heavy weight go and say, okay, I can continue to be angry. Now, granted, it didn't happen that quickly. It took a couple hours. I was watching my husband make himself a coffee just a couple days ago. And I sat there and I thought to myself, doesn't he know by now that if he pours the coffee into the little container, it gets coffee grinds all over the place and he makes a mess? The spoon's right there. Like, why wouldn't he use the spoon to scoop the coffee into the container where he wouldn't make a mess? Does he not know that? Does he not realize? Like, why does he do this time and time again? Am I willing to be a spiritual heavy weightlifter and let that go? And remind myself that there are many successful ways to make a cup of coffee? I bring up these examples, maybe it's just me, I don't know. But I have thoughts like this all day long. I have thoughts like this all day long about people that I love. And they feel so appropriate. In that moment, they feel so appropriate. Like, of course I would be thinking this because, Matthias, you obviously do not know the right way to make a cup of coffee. So you need me to tell you how to do it. And then I got to thinking about this, and the absurdity of this stuff. All the little things and all the little ways that we use every day to create these little protective barriers around ourselves so no one hurts us. Because if I'm there to tell Matthias the right way to make a cup of coffee, then I'm right and he needs me. And then my presence and my existence and my whole purpose of being can be validated. I know you've been waiting for years to hear me say that, Matthias. Wake up, clean up, grow up, and show up. I suppose that is the journey that we get to make every single day, and not only every single day, but moment by moment. Moment by moment. And one of the things that the Course in Miracles is pointing out time and time and time and time again is that if I keep my eye on what is true, what is absolute, what is good, what is all source, all knowing, all powerful, all loving, omniscient, omnipotent, all good, all of the time, everywhere present. If I keep my eye there, if I keep myself surrounded by people who affirm that with me and support me in that, if I keep myself immersed in things that point me in that direction, then I have nothing to fear. Then I have nothing to fear. And if I have nothing to fear, then I can let go of all of those ways that I try and validate myself in ways that I don't need validation, that I don't need recognition anymore, that I am enough, that I'm okay exactly as I am, and that life is okay exactly as it is, that I don't need to figure it out. What is all this striving about? Where am I trying to get to? What am I trying to achieve? Something that other people are telling me I'm supposed to have, do, be, experience. And maybe what all of this is pointing to is that the sacredness, the absolute sacredness that we all seek, the divine expression, the mystical experience that we read about and talk about and sing about and seek and are hoping to find and hoping to experience, it's right in front of our noses. That it's right here. But will we open our hearts to it. And that's the biggest one for me, because when I'm annoyed, when I'm judgmental, when I'm irritated and ticked off, my heart closes so fast. And that's a really interesting concept for me, because so often that feels like the right thing to do. An open heart is vulnerable. But again, if I keep my eye where it needs to be, if I keep myself grounded, doesn't mean that I can't call my sister up and have a good rant every now and then. But am I willing, that spiritual heavy weightlifting, am I willing to extend, to lead with an open heart? To tell my kids, I don't know what you should be doing. I have no idea. Good luck. To let them wrestle with trying to figure it out. Can I be okay with them wrestling with figuring it out? And can I just have an open heart throughout all of it and trust that it's going to be okay? They're going to be okay. They're intelligent. They're sourced. They're extensions of God. I forget that. Every day, I forget it. Every single day. And maybe that's the whole point of all of this. Is just to ask the question, what will I remember? What will I remember right now? What do I believe is true, possible? What do I believe is my birthright? Not what I was told, but what will you choose to believe? That this life is beautiful, it's magnificent, it's intelligent, it's creative, it's awe-inspiring. And anything any of us ever need is already within us if we take the time to look and just be still for a moment. So let's do that. Let's be still for a moment. I invite you to close your eyes. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Feel the endless sky above this building. The endless sky that we cannot see the boundaries of. From the Course of Miracles, you rest within the peace of God today and call upon your brothers from your rest to draw them to their rest along with you. We will be faithful to our trust today, forgetting no one, bringing everyone into the boundless circle of our peace. The holy sanctuary where we rest now. Open the temple doors and let them come from far across the world and near as well. Our distant brothers and our closest friends. Bid them all enter here and rest with us now. take the next few moments as we listen to the music and feel the sense of all needs being met right now. That nothing else need to be said, done, perceived. Take this next minute to rest in the peace of God. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.